Bossman show. We have a returning guest. He's at Middle Tennessee State University down in Murfreesboro, about 30 miles from where I went to school. As you guys know, at Tennessee State, it's the one only Nick McDevitt on the Bossman show. Coach McDevitt, I know you're living in Murfreesboro area, the Nashville metro area. Your family has to be enjoying it, man.
We really are. We've been here a couple months now, about 2.5 months, and really enjoying getting to know the community and the area and all the people here. It's been hectic, but it's been great getting to know this place better.
Now, Coach, you have been at Asheville since 1997, so I know it had to be something really, very special for you to leave Asheville after all these years. So what was it about President McPhee, Chris Massaro, and the Middle Tennessee administration that kind of say kind of won you over, you and your family over, say, hey, it's time to make this move with Murfreesboro, take over this program in Conference USA here?
Well, you just kind of nailed it. It was definitely going to take something special for myself and my family and all of us to want to leave Asheville, because Asheville is a great place. The city is, but UNC Asheville as a university is a great place. Where I went to school, it's where a lot of my family went to school. So we knew that if we were ever to leave Asheville, it's going to have to be a great situation. And that's what we found at Middle Tennessee. From the people and President McPhee and Chris Massaro and a lot of the coaches that have been here, the head coaches, when you look around, have been here 10, 12, 15 years. Same thing with a lot of the administration here on campus. So we knew that there had to be something special here, because the place continues to gain in national recognition and notoriety, not just the basketball program and what Coach Davis and his staff did for 16 years, but also the football program, the women's basketball program. You look at what the university is doing, continues to grow, not only in recognition, but just the footprint as well. All the things that President McPhee has done. Murfreesboro as a city is the fastest growing city in the state of Tennessee, one of the top 10 in the country, located just about 25, 30 minutes right outside of Nashville. So the combination of all those things just got our family more and more excited about the opportunity when it arose. So we're really lucky and fortunate to be here and enjoying our time and hoping to continue to grow this basketball program.
Now, as Coach, I probably told you before, Coach, but I still have a home in Nashville. So I come up from Atlanta and I come to Murfreesboro, I always see a crane of construction going on and something new time I come through there. So you're right. It's definitely growing, because I remember when Murfreesboro was nothing but just grass and fields. I remember that coming down there, down in 05, 06. I remember those. And now, if you look around the campus, you see construction, you see repaving, you see different things around campus for the students. So MTSU, I think, is one of the biggest, probably outside of UT Knoxville and Memphis, the biggest school in Tennessee, probably. Is that right, Coach?
That's right. We're just over 20,000 students. So, yeah, it's the enrollment here at the university has been between 20 and 25,000 for really about the last 6, 7, 8 years. And so between that and the multiple undergrad programs, the graduate school opportunities that we have here, the school just continues to grow, like I said earlier, not just in the things that we offer and in national recognition and notoriety, but we opened up a brand new $150 million science building within the last 2 years. There's just $800 million worth of campus construction under President McPhee's watch. So a lot of things going on this campus, and those are the things like that I said earlier that really excited us, that the people that are in place here are doing a great job. It's one thing that if the people that have been in place here have been here for a long time, but the place is stagnant and not growing. But that's not the case. You look at the athletic department in general, or as a whole, they've continued to grow from being a part of the Ohio Valley Conference, and then moved into the Sun Belt, then moved into Conference USA, and continued to try to push the needle and push this program as a whole, continue to push it forward.
I got a two-parter for you here, Coach. Think about this, Coach. it's good when you get a job when a coach left the job in good standing. Like Coach Davis left you a great situation, which probably helped you want to come as well. How he built this program all the years. He was in Middle Tennessee, and then you're playing in Conference USA, so it's not so much a one bid league per se. You can actually get in at large if you play the right schedule. So for you, Coach, knowing that hey, I can recruit nationally again because Milton's a national brand now. Also, and also playing that conference now. If you miss out on the conference championship, you might still have a chance to get in the tournament that way as well.
Yeah, and that's some things that we're looking into both with our non-conference schedule and being pretty careful in particular about who we're scheduling there, which I thought Coach Davis and his staff did a great job, particularly last year. Had one of the top 15 strength of schedule, non-conference strength of schedule in the country. They couldn't have done much more on a scheduling standpoint to put themselves in position to get an at-large bid. But our league in particular is looking into and did go to a strategic scheduling model for our conference games as well, where the top 5 teams in the league will definitely play each other twice. And those second games will come in the last 4 games of the season. 1 through 5 will all play each other in their 15th through 18th games of conference play to do exactly what you just said, to try to give ourselves as a league a better chance of getting an at-large bid to get a second team in the tournament, but to also try to increase the seed line of our automatic qualifier. The league representative has been somewhere between 12 and 15 over the last 5 to 6 years, and just trying to look at some creative ways in both non-conference and conference scheduling to try to increase the profile of our individual teams.
And now, Coach, non-conference scheduling with Middle Tennessee being in the middle of the state, pretty much you can play Tennessee, Memphis if they want to play you, Tennessee State, Vanderbilt, Lipscomb, Belmont, all within driving distance and get back in a day, and the fans can come see you all play. So is that something you're looking into, maybe try to strike up some of those regional rivalries once more to kind of get that flavor going for that Middle Tennessee area, for all the teams, all the schools right there that you can play non-conference, but it may not help you RPI-wise, but just kind of get the rivalries going just for the community at large.
Yeah, I think, again, you have to strike a balance of scheduling games that can both help you with your non-conference RPI, but also games that are fun for your fans to watch, places that when you're playing away games that your fans can travel and get to. And that's really what we're doing this year and want to continue doing as we move forward. We're playing Vanderbilt, Belmont, Murray State. Ole Miss is coming up and playing us at Bridgestone Arena in December. So we're trying to continue the playing a lot of the local teams, and I just think those are games that the fans like them, the alumni, the current players, the coaches, administration. Those are just fun games to kind of have bragging rights in your area and at work when you go see your buddies that may have graduated from some of the opposing schools. And, in conference play, we do a lot of traveling. We have conference games all the way from Texas to Florida up to West Virginia and everywhere in between. So to get a chance in non-conference play, as you said, to be able to get in the bus and go play the game, turn around and come back home is kind of a welcome break. So we'll try to find ways to again strike that balance of playing some nationally recognized opponents, and at the same time be able to play some local opponents as well that the fans and everybody else are interested in.
Yeah, I wish y'all played Georgia Tech or Georgia State, Coach, right in my backyard. But I know they don't want to play you guys. I've already thrown it out there. They don't want to play you all. I've already tried.
Well, those are games that we're interested in playing as well. We recruit Georgia pretty heavily. We did at Asheville. Middle Tennessee has done so in the past, and we will continue to do so now that we are here. And being able to, really return some guys that are here that grew up in Georgia and the surrounding area to go back home and play the University of Georgia and play Georgia Tech and perhaps start series, home and home series with them, or 2-for-1 perhaps if that need to happen, to get a chance to have those teams come to the Murphy Center and come here to Murfreesboro, are games that we're interested in scheduling as well.
And now, Coach, speaking of recruiting, Coach, now, will you be going to trying to use all four ways, getting high school guys, JUCOs, transfers, the fifth-year guys maybe, and even an international guy too, if you like what you see and if it's a good fit for you, or you going to try to do it, a certain way since you getting started out there in Murfreesboro down there?
No, I think, as you just alluded to, our ability here to go a multitude of routes and a lot of different avenues to recruit quality players here is obviously attractive. And one of the things that really attracted me to the job as well is that you can continue to build the program in a lot of different ways, whether you need to be older, faster. You're able to do that, whether it be through junior college transfers or grad transfers, to be able to go find prep school kids, 4-year high school young men, kids that may have to transfer from a high major school and sit out a year and they're eligible, sit one, play two, sit one, play three. There's just a lot of different ways that you can kind of build your program and build your roster year in and year out here at Middle, and to have that ability and that flexibility is a bonus.
And now, Coach, I know you guys are going to 4 hours this year for his workout time, so will you be more so working on player development, or you just going to try to implement some scheme as well while trying to develop your players you got and evaluating talent you have in your roster as you look forward to building a roster down the road?
Yeah, a little bit of both. We'll probably do a little bit more overall scheme stuff this year than we would do in most other years, just because even us as a staff, we're new here. The players have never played in the system or learned terminology, so things that after a couple of years, your veteran players, your older players, they've been running those kinds of things and doing those kind of things for 2 or 3 years. That's just not the case. With our team this year, we'll have 3 seniors on this year's team, but it will be year one for them in this system. So you're really trying to teach this system to every single person on your team. And so the sooner that they get comfortable with that, the better. At the same time, you do have to continue developing your players as individuals so that their individual skill level is allowed to really show itself, and they're able to perform within the team setting and within the team scheme. And so you're really trying to strike a balance in teaching your overall system, but continue to develop your individual players at the same time.
And so, Coach, in doing that, how much are you trying to work on getting them to buy in now and become one with you and the staff? Because I know it's always weird when a coach leaves and you wouldn't have got it recruited them. They kind of always had semi-wall up toward you. So how are you consider staff going about trying to break down that wall and get the guys to buy in and trust you and your staff and know that you, even though you do recruit them, you have the best interest at hand no matter what, because you're part of this team and you're their guy and they should trust you.
Yeah, I think it's just being genuine and open and, being honest with them day in and day out. I think you have to be yourself. They're young, but they're not dumb. And so they can pick up on whether you're trying to be something you're not and or someone that you're not. And so that's really been my approach from day one here, but also from day one when I got into, coaching college basketball, was to be yourself. And that's really what we're trying to do. I think the guys are really truly bought into what we're doing. They were having fun with what we're doing in the spring. Now, at that time, you're not facing any adversity either. You're not losing games in April and May. And so, at some point throughout the season, you face a little bit of adversity because perhaps you're not playing as much as you want to, or you went through a 2 or 3 game losing streak. That's when you have to have everyone bought in, everyone on the same page, everyone's playing for each other, those kinds of things. And that's really what you try to build. At least that's what we're trying to build backing up to the last week of March when we got here, all the way until the second week in November when games start. And so we're kind of in the middle of that process right now. We started summer school Monday, just 2 days ago. So we're actually having our first workout this afternoon, later on this evening, of summer school. And as you mentioned, they bumped the amount of time we can have with them on the floor each week from 2 hours to 4 hours. And so we'll have several 1 to 1.5 hour team workouts each week. And during that time, we'll do a lot of team stuff and sprinkle in some individual time to develop their skill level. And hopefully we can keep building this thing this summer.
Coach, I got a couple more for you, Coach. Now, I got to ask you about food. What's been your favorite food spot in Murfreesboro so far, or Nashville, period, since you've been in town?
Hey, I'm telling you, there are so many. I was telling some folks yesterday, I spoke to a group at lunchtime yesterday and told them I think I'm enjoying the food around here a little bit too much. But there are great places in Murfreesboro to go eat. There really are. And, we've obviously had a lot of visits over the last couple of months with prospects being on campus. And during their official visits, most of the time you're going out to eat with them and trying to wine and dine them a little bit. So during those visits particularly, you get a chance to go around town and go to different restaurants. And I don't think I've had a bad meal since I've been over here.
So I'm pretty sure you've been to Toots then, Coach. I'm pretty sure of that.
Oh, no doubt. Toots, Puckett's, Five Senses, Mimi's, Bar Louie, Jonathan's, you name it, we've been there.
Hey, Coach, I love it. Now, man, you've been the Jack's Barbecue, Coach. You've been there before, Coach?
Just about every barbecue spot in town we've been to. There's
man,
Slick
Coach.
Pig, Mission Barbecue, Jim and Nick's. We've been all over the place.
Coach, when I come to town, we got to get some barbecue, man. I love me some Jackson Puckets and Jim and Nick's, man.
I hear you. We're in the same boat.
I love it, man. Hey, Coach, every time I come to Nashville, I leave back with a bunch of barbecue back to Atlanta with me, because that's what I take back with me. I eat barbecue like a whole week, man. A whole week doing barbecue.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm always down for some good barbecue.
Hey, Coach, I tell you what, Coach, I'm happy for you at this job. I look forward to coming down there and seeing you guys, man. Especially when I come through town, I'm going to stop by and see you and Eric and the guys over there, man. Check in with you and your team, man. I'm so happy for you, Coach. Look forward to seeing you real soon. If you come to Peace Jam, Coach, hope to have you come down in the studio with us as well, man.
That'd be great. Look forward to it. I'll be down there this summer, so we'll get together then.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Have a great day. We're going to talk to you real soon, Coach.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
All your photo, video, and voiceover needs, check out the fine folks at Blueberry Productions. They will take good care of you. If you don't believe me, you can see for yourself. Check out their work at blueberryproductions.tv, the Facebook page, Blueberry Productions, also a Vimeo page, a YouTube page, and it's Blueberry, BLUBERRY, Prod on Twitter. Check them out today. Blueberry Productions, great people, great work, great service.
Folks, back in the Jared Bossman show. We're to be joined by the South Dakota Coyotes' new head coach. He used to play there. His alma mater, Coach Todd Lee. Coach Lee, how does it feel to be back at your alma mater after all these years away in your coaching career, man? It brings you all back full circle once more.
Well, it's great. We've seen a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. Now, I came back off and on to visit. I still have family in South Dakota, My mom lives here, my brother, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins. So to come back and see everybody is great. And then got to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. Now, I came back off and on to visit Coach Boots because he and I are friends, and he was the head coach before Coach Smith. And but this place has changed so much. It's beautiful. They've really done a great job at building up their facilities. We have high major facilities. I've been all over the country, and we've got an unbelievable arena with 2 practice courts and big-time weight room and film room and lounge for our players. They really did it up right. But it is great to be back and see a lot of the people I haven't seen in a long time.
Now, Coach, did you ever think about in your wildest dream this opportunity to open up for you? I know you was at Grand Canyon. They transitioned into becoming a D1 school. You was at Kentucky Wesleyan as well. So did you ever think in your wildest dream this opportunity to open up for you where you would get this job, get a chance to lead your alma mater, place you played, and just so many people, like you said, who you know, you've seen in years, just to come back and see how they built up the whole program, the facility. So did you just think like, wow, this is a dream come true for me?
Well, I hadn't really thought about it, and then when Craig Smith took the Utah State job, I know I got a lot of calls from people back here about the opportunity, and then I got in contact with Dave Williams, who's deputy AD in charge of basketball, and he and I actually worked together at Kentucky Wesleyan for a couple of years, so he knows me as a coach and person, and we've known each other for a long time. So that was the connection there. I've never really been a person that chases jobs or looks for jobs. I was perfectly happy at Grand Canyon. Dan Marley's the head coach, and he and I are very good friends, and we're very successful there. He's a great coach, and I wasn't even thinking about it. And then a call came in, and I looked into it and saw what they've done here at South Dakota with the facilities and with the commitment to winning. And the program has done a great path. And so when it came time to talk to South Dakota and the administration, after I met with them, I really was blown away by their commitment to the basketball program and putting in the resources, and obviously the facilities are big time. So it is something I hadn't really thought about, but once I met with them and talked to them, it was something I couldn't pass up.
Now, Coach, I want to ask you this question because you just coach at both levels. What's the big difference between coaching in Division II versus coaching in Division I? Are there different rules for recruiting, roster size, budget? So you could just share with listeners kind of the difference between coaching D2 versus coaching in D1.
Well, Division II, you have 10 scholarships. Sometimes they break it up in different ways, but if you're fully funded, you have 10 scholarships. Division I, you have 13. Division I, you can't break up scholarships, meaning if you give somebody $1, you're giving them a full scholarship at Division I. So you either have 13 full scholarships, and then your other players are walk-ons. Division II, you can break it up. There's different rules academically for who's eligible and who's not eligible. There are players that are eligible at the Division II level that are not eligible at the Division I level. And so you've got to know both of those rules. Now, because of that, I've coached won a national championship at Cal State Bakersfield with Pat Douglas, and we had a pro on our team, Kibu Stewart, who's drafted right around 30th pick in the NBA draft. And I've had great players wherever I've coached at Division II, Cal State Bakersfield, and then Kentucky Wesleyan. Because of those academic restrictions at times in the transfers, you end up with really good, high quality players. I would say if you're competing at the top of Division II in the top 10, which pretty much we did every year at Kentucky Wesleyan and Bakersfield, you're a low to mid-major program. You can beat a lot of Division I programs, and so it's we had Division I talent up and down our roster at Kentucky Wesleyan. We had that at Cal State Bakersfield, and but there are rules, different rules as far as scholarships, different rules as far as academic requirements, and but there's a lot of good players at Division II, that's for sure.
And coach, when recruiting here in South Dakota, coach, you gonna more so target high school guys, transfers, JUCOs, and maybe potentially mix in the international guy to maintain that class balance. A lot of schools want to have, a coaches want to have in their program, kind of get the program turn over on its own without having to be very old one year or very young this year. Kind of have that good balance of old and young all the time.
Well, you always want to have a balance if you can, but we'll recruit wherever we can find players. Now we do want to recruit this region very well. The South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, that area. We want to recruit this area really well. You got to know your backyard. That's the first thing. And number one, to recruit players that you can get. Number two, with the way college basketball is, there's over almost 1,000 transfers this year. 20% of rosters are transferring. So if a young man goes to a Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa State, and you've recruited them, down the road you never know if they will end up transferring. So you want to have relationships with them in the future, or they remember you recruiting them if they end up leaving programs. So we're going to recruit this area really hard. And then we are going to recruit the international market, and the reason why that is because I've done that in the past. We've been successful at Grand Canyon doing that. When I was at UC Irvine, we had some foreign players that very successful, getting very good players. And when you recruit outside the United States, players want to be developed, and we're going to be really good at developing players. Players want coaches and want to come to winning programs. They want to come to programs that have great facilities so they can be in the gym a lot, get stronger, get bigger. We have all that here, and so we're going to recruit internationally. And then the transfer market is always something that you have to look at nowadays in college basketball. I mean, the best programs in the country, Duke, just name go down the line, they're taking fifth-year transfers. They're taking transfers. And so, and then one of my former coaches, Eric Musselman, who I'm real good friends with, we're still best friends. You can see what he's doing at Nevada with transfers.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to look at that market because it's such a big market now in college basketball. So we're going to find players wherever that we can locate them and recruit them, but we're going to try to do the best we can in the backyard near here, but we are going to look overseas. We are going to look at transfers also.
Yeah, Coach, I seen Coach Musselman's team in Nashville at the NCAA tournament. That site, those two comebacks they had was amazing. I'm like, wow. Those guys fought
he does a great
to
job.
win this game.
And they're going to be better this year than they were last year. And really because of the transfers, and he does an unbelievable job of getting to know those guys and identifying them. And when we were in the CBA together, he did the same thing, because obviously the CBA is a transient league. Players are coming and going, and he seemed to know where everybody was in the world playing basketball.
And Coach, when you guys get on the court this summer, are you going to be more trying to implement scheme, or it's more so evaluate the guys you have, kind of see what you have on your roster, so you kind of know what you need to do in the fall and in recruiting for 2019 as well?
Well, we're going to do a little bit of both. I'm still in the evaluation period, and they're still learning. You know, we have a really good group of players coming back. We've got a number of players that were here that were part of that 26-win team and 22-win team that won the league 2 years ago in the regular season. So we've got a number of players back, and but they have to learn a new system. So they're learning the system that we're implementing, or I'm implementing. And all my staff is learning a new system. So the only one who knows it is me, but we're learning together. So I'm trying to figure out what guys can and cannot do, how quickly they can learn things, how quickly they can pick things up. I'm trying to put in not a lot early. I'm trying to evaluate them also as players and trying to see what they can and cannot do, because that's very important. And so I don't want to put in too much scheme right now. We're doing a lot of player development. We're putting in some basic schemes, and then I just like to see how guys can learn, how quickly they can pick things up, and then we can evaluate. That's why I'm trying to evaluate them as players also.
Now, Coach, non-conference scheduling wise, the Summer League is a pretty well-known league. Are you going to be able to go out and play 2-for-1s, not play so many guarantee games, and maybe play an exempt tournament to kind of get you guys ready for Summer League play? Because it's very important to get you guys kind of prepped for that run there in January and February, and hopefully into March for you guys.
It is. We've got a great tournament in the Bahamas that we're playing some good teams. We're going to be down there for 6 days and part of an MTE. And so we've got a four-team group in that, and one of them's High Point. Tubby Smith brings back pretty much everybody. Air Force is going to be there out of the Mountain West. We've got a really tough schedule early. We go to Baylor on November 27th, and then we go to Colorado State and Kansas on December 16th and the 18th. So I think Kansas is number one in the country. We will get challenged early and often in our non-conference schedule. That is the difference. You just mentioned the mid majors or the high majors that can just buy games and just bring a bunch of teams in and play home games. We can bring teams in and play here and do some of that, but we also go on the road and play some of the high majors to get our kids experience and have a great atmosphere where we go to Kansas, go to Baylor, some big time places where our guys, we've got some kids from Texas on our roster too, so they'll be going back home. And we try to do a mix of everything. Obviously, we want to play really good teams at home, but as you know, that it's a challenge to get good teams to come play you on the road, especially when you've been winning 26, 22 games. You got, players back. Teams are not real excited to come up to South Dakota and play you.
Yeah, Coach, I hear it all the time. I'm down visiting Ron Hunter in his office. He always talks about scheduling. So between recruiting and scheduling, it gives me a headache, keeps me up at night sometimes. And I said, Coach Hunter, nobody wants to play your zone. That's like a 2-day prep to play your zone. Nobody hits your zone on one day.
Exactly. And if you have good players and you got to play some type of system, you don't want to play it. I mean, it can be. And coaches are honest about it. I mean, we're all in the same business. They literally, when I was at Grand Canyon, Coach Marley would always joke. He would go sit down next to a coach in the summer, and the first thing they wouldn't even ask him how he is. He's like, "No, we're not playing." So the first thing to come out of their mouth is, "We're not playing, you guys." And then they would ask how you're doing. So, when you're in the situation where you're a good mid-major program, and teams know that, it is really hard to get quality games. It's really hard, especially get quality home games, because people just don't want to play you. They just don't want to go on the road, and that's why you see more and more of these MTEs, neutral sites, and these high majors. They very rarely go on the road. They're going to play maybe one road game a year in the pre-conference, and some of them don't play any.
You got that right, Coach, because I said I've been in many of Coach's offices trying to schedule games, and I just shaking my head like, man, look, I don't know how you guys do it, but it's crazy how you call a guy up, they don't want to play you, or they'll throw out a number so you don't want to buy them either. So it's like that's like I've been in the office and seen it. It's like, so I said, man, that's a headache I don't have. I just get to go cover the game.
It is something that it's something that the fans of college basketball, don't really know or understand or really delve into. They see the games and they see teams playing, but if they knew the backstory of how games get scheduled, they'd be like, "That's crazy. I didn't even think about that." But it is a very hard thing to do, and it's also a very time-consuming part of our profession. That's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Now, Coach, I want to close you out this, Coach. What's your day like typically, Coach, since you've been back to head coach? I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to come visit you, boosters, and meets around campus, community events. So how busy are your days these days? Are you working off-hour days, or you kind of got it more calmed down now? You have a kind of routine inside, and you can get home at a decent hour these days.
Well, and when we first got here, there were so many media interviews, whether it was radio or TV or newspaper, and that's calmed down a little bit. So that has calmed down some, but still going out to different groups around town in the area and speaking, whether it's we got in this time of year in South Dakota, you're playing in golf tournaments. You're going out and raising money, and we just had a big one a week ago to raise money for our athletic department. We're going out to Rapid City in a couple weeks to speak to a alumni booster group and playing some golf. So we do that a lot. I just spoke to local Lions Club. I've been up to Sioux Falls to speak to our booster group. So I've been doing a lot of that. In the meantime, having workouts with our guys, because our guys are on campus right now. We're trying to finish up recruiting. We've got 4 games left to schedule. We've got 3 players left to sign. So yeah, it's a whirlwind. But this time of the year, June, is usually a little bit of a downtime. But when you take over a program, this is not a time. It's not going to calm down and probably till next spring sometime.
Coach, I'm definitely going to be looking out for you guys. I know I had a relationship with Coach Smith as well when he was there, but I definitely want to keep it going with you as well, having you on the show, because I love your program, what you guys stand for up there. I love the Summit League. Basketball is a league, so I'll definitely keep in contact with your coach, and I'm glad you came on the show for doing it again with you in the fall, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. If you want to talk again in the fall, look forward to it.
Hip-hop fans, I got a great album for you. The debut album from Family Grind ENT, True Speech and 313 Fresh. We're going to give you 2 discs, 33 songs of pure, genuine hip-hop. Albums available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, illstreetrex.com, and streaming live right now on Rhapsody, Beats Music, Spotify, Xbox Music, Slacker Radio, and SoundCloud. Check them out today. True Speech and 313 Fresh. Family Grind ENT. Believe in it. Get it.
The Bossman show. We have one friend of the show. We talked to him earlier this year with the South Dakota. Now he's moved to Logan, Utah, to the Utah State Aggies. It's the snazzy dressing. It's my man Craig Smith. Coach, man, you got to move on up on me, Coach. The Mountain West Conference doing your thing, man. How I like my thing in Logan, man.
Man, it's been fantastic, JR. Thanks for having me on. It's been a whirlwind the last, I don't know what it's been, 10 weeks or something like that, between recruiting and trying to get people excited and getting out and meeting all the fan base and the community of Logan, and of course everybody in the athletic department. And it's been people have welcomed us with open arms, have been so friendly, and it's such a passionate fan base. It's incredible. And so they love us right now, JR, but we haven't lost a game, so we're in good graces. But it's been exciting recruiting-wise. We're going to have 5 new players for next year's team. And then you add all the whole AAU recruiting scene in April, where you're looking at, 2019 prospects and 2020 and beyond. And then not to mention I'm married with 4 wonderful kids. And so you're trying to, they're finishing school. You're trying to sell a house in South Dakota and buy a house in Utah. And so you got all that as well. And the family just got here 3 days ago, so it's great to have everybody back under one roof, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be the men's basketball coach at Utah State University.
So, Coach, it tells me, from what I'm hearing, Coach, 6 to midnight is your schedule each day. 6 a.m. to midnight, 8-hour days for you, Coach. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it's been nonstop. I'll tell you, JR, we, it was kind of like, I always remember reading articles about rookies in the NBA, and they don't know what city they're in, they don't know where they're at, and there were many times, because when you first get hired, Utah State was kind enough to put myself and our staff in a hotel, room for however long it was, 3 or 4 weeks. And then you add all the recruiting and where you're at, and you're just like, where am I at again? What hotel am I in again this morning? So you have that whole thing. And then we closed on our house, and of course my family wasn't here, so I just told our whole staff, like, hey man, bachelor pad at the Smiths. And but my wife was all concerned, like, Craig, I want those bathrooms clean, and you can't just be trashing the house, and I want the kitchen. I'm like, Darce, like literally, all we do at the apartment, or not at the apartment, all we do at the house, because there's no cable TV, no Wi-Fi, no nothing set up, and all we did was sleep on air mattresses and maybe grab a shower in the morning, and it was about 18-hour days on most days. So it's kind of like reliving the college days all over again. But it's been so, like I said, it's been so exciting. The people at South Dakota were unbelievable. We obviously had a great run there. But now we're on to the Mountain West. And I always remember, I said at my press conference, I've always had an eye on Utah State. I remember when I was an assistant at Colorado State, Utah State was not in the Mountain West at that time. They were still in the WAC. And so when I did a ton of scouts, and when I would see like UNLV or San Diego State or New Mexico play at Utah State, and I didn't know anything about Utah State, but it was like a big party, in the Spectrum, and we need to get that Spectrum magic back. And so it was one of the, since the year 2000, Utah State has the 15th most wins in the country in Division I men's basketball. And so obviously it's a really difficult place to play. That was going into this year anyway. Maybe we're 16 now, but and so it's always been a place I really kind of watched, engaged how they did, and just kept an eye on, because the spirit and atmosphere at this place is absolutely electric, and they really are passionate and truly care about how the basketball program does. And so, I made the mistake my first time walking into Walmart wearing my Utah State basketball stuff. And, I went in there, and it took about 10 minutes to find what I needed, and it took about 40 minutes to get out of the out of the store, because everybody kept stopping us. But it sure has been exciting.
I hear that, Coach. Like I said, I hear it in your voice, because I know you love South Dakota. It takes something really special to leave. So when you talk to the administration of Utah State, where they sell you on you and your family on about coming here to opportunity? I know you kept an eye on it yourself, but until you really go and see it for yourself, you really don't know whether you want to make that move or not. But so what was the final deciding factor for you to say, hey, it's a time to make this move? South Dakota's been great to me. Let me go out here in Utah State and help these guys out in Logan and get some of that Aggie magic over here for myself and my family.
And you're right, JR. That's exactly right. And I always, when my wife and I left, when our family left Nebraska, I was an assistant at University of Nebraska for 2 years, and we had just come off an NCAA tournament berth, and we were really good, and I loved it. And then when South Dakota opened, that was always a place I kind of had my eye on as well, because I was a coach at another school in the same league, and they had the same type of deal. And so I took a big pay cut, quite frankly, to go to South Dakota, and then we got it going. And we had really struggled. It was a struggling program at the time, and we got all of our guys in, and we got rolling. And even this past year, our last year at South Dakota, we were as high as number 3 in the mid-major poll. We were right behind Gonzaga was 1, St. Mary's was 2, and we were number 3. And Nevada was, like 6 or 7. And I'm not saying we were better than Nevada, but that shows you the kind of team we had and the respect that we had earned. And so I love those players in our program, and it was a great community, but it was going to have to take a really special situation to leave there. And certainly I knew the spirit and atmosphere and the rich tradition of excellence at Utah State. And then going through the interview process, really getting to know John Hartwell, our athletic director, he and I just really hit it off from the second we got rolling, quite frankly. And Coleman Barnes, one of our associate ADs, was in on that. And it was kind of like we were long-lost brothers in a lot of ways. And we just started chopping it up and talking hoops, and his beliefs and my beliefs and his philosophy and my philosophy really aligned in so many ways, and our personalities are very similar in a lot of ways in terms of our passion and our excitement for basketball and the whole thing. And so then, once they flew my wife and I out to look and tour the facilities and the community, it was really a no-brainer. And so we are so thrilled to be here, and we got a lot of work in front of us, right? I mean, the Mountain West Conference is one heck of a basketball league. Of course, Nevada won it's a great league, and Nevada won the league last year and ended up getting to the Sweet 16. And right now, if you look at most prognostications, they're going to be ranked in the top 10. They're going to be really good, ranked in the top 10 and even the top 5 in some. So we got a lot of work in front of us, but we're excited for the challenge. I love the group of guys we have on board.
Now, Coach, speaking of your guys, how much time have you got on the court with your guys? Kind of see what you have right now before your 5 new guys come here to start practicing with the team now?
Well, we haven't had a lot of time. We were able to get 2 weeks. Of course, the NCAA limits what you can do during the season and out of season. And of course, we were out of season, so we had 2 hours a week to work with them, and we only had 2 weeks to work with them because you can't work with the guys during finals week or the week before finals week. But, first of all, I really like the character of our guys. I think we got a lot of guys returning in the program that are team guys that really know how to play. Most of the guys really fit our style of play. We like to get up and down the floor. We give the guys a lot of freedom to go make plays. I'm not of course we have plays, but we don't have a million of them. And some coaches can maybe, I don't know how to, overdo it sometimes.
Yeah, overdo
I'm
it.
a big
That's
believer. And you recruit players to go be players. And so we do a lot of skill development. I don't want our guys to be robots. I want them to be basketball players. And so when you give guys freedom to go make plays, with more freedom comes responsibility. And I think most of the guys are very skilled. They can make decisions. They can pass and catch. I feel like we return a good shooting team. Now, some of the numbers don't exactly show that if you're just looking at a numbers page. But with some of the drills that we do with individual skill development, it shows me like, wow, you can be a good shooter. Now, you got to do it when the lights are on. But also, guys got to earn confidence, but there's certainly some things you can do as a coach to help promote that, to help facilitate that. And so, Sam Merrill's a kid that's got a chance to be really, really special. He's a multi-dimensional guard at 6'4", 6'5", that he is an unbelievably pure stroke. When he shoots it, his shot is so soft, you're almost surprised when he misses it. At the same time, he makes the right play every time. You almost got to want him to be a little more selfish, if that makes sense. And a guy named Dwayne Brown, who had a solid year last year, I think he's going to have take the next step and be a very good player for us. And Quinn Taylor's a senior that just knows how to play. I think he'll really thrive in our system. So those are kind of the guys that are a little more proven. And then we got some other guys that a guy like Brock Miller, who's going to be a redshirt freshman for us, that I think has incredible upside, but he was hurt last year. I could go on, but I'm super excited about our team, and I love the drive and the want. Our guys really want to be good, and so we can't wait to get rolling. Is it November yet?
Hey, Coach, Coach, don't rush that for me, Coach. That means I'm on the road every week.
Yeah, man. If it's November, you're not on vacation, right?
You got that. Now, Coach, let me ask you something. So, but you guys have been in Utah, so playing fast, would that help you for the altitude, kind of getting the road teams out of breath real fast? Your guys used to the altitude and the air out there, so you guys can just run them up and down the court and wear them down, so you can have win games that way because you wore them down.
Well, that's a really good question, and I don't know if I have the exact answer to that, but on a personal note, I could run like the wind when I was in South Dakota. I got to Utah, and I'm like, oh my God, I need a respirator like 5 minutes into the workout because it does make a difference. But I do think that matters, JR. I do think, getting up and down the floor and your body gets acclimated. Not to get too detailed on you, but they say when you're like, we're at just under 5,000 feet, and your body, I mean, there's a reason the Olympic Training Center, right, is at altitude in Colorado Springs, and so your body builds up a quart more blood over 3 weeks being at this altitude, and so I do think it's going to matter. Now, a lot of the schools in the Mountain West are at altitude, so it won't affect those schools as much, but when you go play at sea level and you're used to this, I mean, you just never get tired. And certainly I think that'll be a great benefit for us, especially on our home floor.
Now, Coach, non-conference scheduling-wise, it has to help you out a lot being in the Mountain West Conference because you all want to become a multiple-bid league. So how many is more likely to play you guys since they may want to avoid you with how Nevada played last year. But I think trying to not having to have guarantee games, do so many 2-for-1s, have to raise money for the university by playing guarantee games. So it has to feel good. You kind of schedule yourself hard or tough, or play some zip tournaments as well. Maybe play the Atlantis tournament out there in the Bahamas, or play Maui if you can, or another zip tournament in Orlando or something. Get you guys some experience that way.
And that's another thing I'm really excited about. When you're in the Summit League of South Dakota, obviously we always schedule tough. Like last year, we played at Duke, we played at UCLA, we played at TCU. Had a great chance to win UCLA and TCU. The year before, we played Gonzaga. We had scheduled Kansas for next year, all being at South Dakota. Now, obviously, those schools are paying us to play, but that league, and just like any league, has to be committed to scheduling tough. If the bottom 4 or 5 teams or whatever just schedule lightly, then those are low RPI games when you get into the league. My last year at Colorado State, 4 teams in the Mountain West got into the NCAA tournament, including us at Colorado State as the 4 seed. And then the year after we went to Nebraska, 5 teams in the Mountain West made it to the NCAA tournament. And since then, there's been a bit of a dip. And collectively, I love what the Mountain West Conference is doing. They've certainly realized that we got to amp up some of our non-conference scheduling. And scheduling is always a little bit of you just never know from year to year who's going to lose what, who's going to grad transfer out, who's going to grad transfer in. So you have a lot of working pieces there, but you do your best guess to do that. And you got to get home games. I mean, right, teams that win at home usually have, do well. But then you got to have those opportunities to play those NCAA tournament teams and those high major teams, and you just can't afford to make a lot of mistakes. And so that's certainly a huge emphasis for our program. I think that's a major emphasis. I know it's a major emphasis for the Mountain West Conference to kind of keep moving forward. And it's really an exciting time. There's some new coaches here in the league the last couple years that I think are really going to crank it up a bit. But it's a heck of a league and one that I'm definitely very proud to be a part of.
Final one I got for you, Coach, is food. I got to ask you, Coach, what has been your favorite food spot or two since you've been out there in Logan, man? How's the food, man?
Oh, man, it's incredible, and I love food, and I'm eclectic. I can do it all. Like, I can give me some Mexican. We can get some seafood. Let's get some, of course, just a regular big old steak. You can't go wrong with that, and that was the hardest part. Truly, the passion I have for South Dakota and how great it was, but we just didn't have a whole lot of options, and so I hired Austin Hansen and Eric Peterson came out with me as assistants from South Dakota, and so of course we're bachelors, so almost every night we're gonna go. Not every night, I shouldn't say, but all right, let's try this place, let's try this place, let's try this place. So we figured out some good places to go, and there's plenty of them for recruits when they come on campus and the whole thing. But I'm just in heaven just driving down whatever road and finding all these. Now, it might not quite be like Atlanta, but we're working to get there.
Hey, Coach, I'm about the shoulder and the ribs. So I got to find me some good shoulder and ribs. I got to have that, Coach.
I I don't know, it's going to sound crazy, but I had some meatballs the other day, and I don't remember how or why I had them, but it had some really good spice to it. And I like give me a little Cajun, give me something with some flavor. You know what I'm saying? Like I need some spicy and change it up. So that's my go-to whenever I have a choice. So I found this really good place with, of all things, meatballs. I couldn't figure it out, but it surprised me in a great way.
Let's take a story, Coach. I went to go see Nick McDevitt at MC Middle Tennessee. He took me to a hot chicken place, Coach, and it's called 400 Degrees. The 100 Degrees have my nose and eyes watering, have my contacts pop out of my eyes. Was jacked up, man. From the 100 Degrees
man,
jacked
that's
me up.
crazy.
I told him, no more hot chicken for me. I'm retired from hot chicken. Keep me the ribs and shoulder. I'll be good to go.
and you're good to go, huh? Well, you can't go wrong with those, that's for sure.
Yes, Dave. But Coach Smith, I was going to talk to you, man. God have you the show for again in the fall, man. Congrats on a new job, man. Hopefully you can come to Peach Jam. Hope you come to Peach Jam. Hopefully we'll see you there. If not, we got to catch you down the road, see you in person, man, because I love your energy, man. I look forward to seeing your team play. Hope y'all can take down Eric and his boys out there in the Mountain West Conference this year, man.
Well, I appreciate it. We can't wait to get rolling, and I'll definitely be at the Peach Jam, so we'll hook up, all right?
All right, Coach. See you there, man. Thank you always, Coach. Have a great one. We'll talk to you real soon, buddy.
All right, JR. Go Aggies. We'll talk soon.
Trench work.
A gorgeous tan from Suntan City gives you an inner glow that relights the fire when you run into your first crush.
Vicky, who was that?
An old boyfriend.
Lucky you just tanned at Suntan City.
Lucky he's single. We're doing lunch tomorrow.
Won't be single for long then.
During Tour of the City, try all 5 tans, including spray tan, for just $4.99. Restrictions may apply. Click to buy now.
Suntan City, let yourself shine.
Hello, my name is Travis Williams, President and CEO of Academics and Athletic Consulting, focusing on educating and empowering tomorrow's collegiate athletic leaders. My passion is for the education and genuine concern and care for today's student athlete. It's the centerpiece of my life's work. A college education, both in and out of the classroom, is a truly rewarding benefit. For more information on AAC, you can go to www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Once again, www.academicsandathleticsconsulting.com. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Academics and Athletic Consulting, or Twitter at Coach TWill24, or Instagram Travis L. Williams 24. Or you can call me at 404-542-6079. Once again, AAC is very proud to partner with J.R. McHenry of the Bossman Radio Show, covering sports and entertainment across the country. Please tune in weekly for informative, entertaining, and expert analysis on today's sports and entertainment topics. Thank you.